It's the end of week 1 for this 12.8 PBE cycle. This time there was some big changes in content, so I mainly focused on individual videos for that, but now here's a roundup of it. I'm going to cover changes that happened after those videos were made, and also some things that happened which weren't related to them. Firstly, the Eclipse capsule dates were updated. The start time is now 7:30 PM instead of 6:30 PM UTC, and the end date got changed so it's not as long. The end time is now the 13th of May at 6:59 AM UTC, and as with all data mines, the dates can change. I'm currently unsure if it might be an anti-data mining strategy Riot are employing, where they might update the date again in the next major patch and extend the end of it, but I do hope it will change because the player support article does say it will give you 2 patches to complete the milestones. Overall, milestones are very new, so there is no precedent set for how Riot handles it, and therefore it's really hard to predict whether or not these files are accurate. Now, let's move on to the Olaf changes that's happened since the previous video. They also nerfed how much he gets from the base shield. His shield now has a cap for when he's below 30% HP. It has a base value plus 17.5% HP to avoid him from being too unkillable. As for his ultimate, early game bonus armor and magic resist has been reduced, and also his bonus attack damage from the ultimate has been reduced by 5 when you have 2 points in it. However, it's been increased by 5 when it's maxed out. Something I need to mention as well is his base stats. I forgot to mention them when I made the original video, but here they are. So his HP per level has been increased to 105 from 100. His damage per level has been increased to 4.7 from 3.5. And finally, his mana per level has been increased to 60 from 42. Moving on to the Swain changes, since we covered them in his video. His Q-AP ratio was nerfed to 38% from 40%, and the amount of magic damage additional bolts deal has been nerfed. A very small tweak. Originally, they did nerf it from 40 to 35, but then they buffed it up to 38. But from when we last cover it, last time we looked at it, it was 40, now it's 38. As for his ultimate, the magic damage per second got nerfed after the first point you put into it. I definitely say I expect a lot of small number changes for both Swain and Olaf. They're very up in the air right now. Like I mentioned with Swain, his Q, the AP ratio got changed quite a bit over the span of 3 patches. First 40, then 35, now 38. The Olaf changes aren't planned to ship until 12.9, so Riot's got plenty of time to tune him. As for Swain, Riot haven't actually said when they plan to release him. I assume it's going to be in 12.8, but again, not 100% sure. Moving on to Zeri. These changes are on the live servers as well as the PB. She got hotfixed, she was way undertuned, so they put them straight into live. Her base HP was increased to 530 from 500. The WAD scaling has been increased to 140% from 120%, and the slow is now a flat 2 second slow regardless to how many points you got in the ability. Before, it used to scale between 1 second and 2. Zeri's E got a small cooldown buff. And lastly, when Zeri's Q crits, it now gives 3 stacks of the ultimate and 3 E cooldown refreshes instead of 2. Again, these changes are already on live, they were hotfixed in because Zeri's win rate wasn't looking too great. Now, moving on to some MSI content, nothing too special here. Each team will have their own icon and unique in-game emote. Here's a few examples. They're pretty much all the same, just different team logos on them. And the last thing I want to talk about, the Karma passive information has finally been fixed in the League client. It has been wrong since November. Patch 11.23 is now fixed on the PBE. Everything about it says my personal opinion and pure speculation. I personally feel the file that was changed has to be manually updated by someone at Riot. And I feel at the time they accidentally updated the League of Legends main file instead of the Wild Rift one, because both the games list their champions' abilities on the website. I'm pretty sure this file just pulls basically the website data, especially since it was updated in November and we still haven't seen any form of a Karma rework and no mentions of it. I'm pretty sure it was just a mistake, and yeah, it's finally been fixed. Anyway, that is everything for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.